It's a wild, wild start to our month already.
Your
Let's
name
get
is
order.
Sheldon.
I
Step
know,
down,
right?
sir.
We solved a problem. Problem solved.
Really? Really, woman? What the fuck?
Bam, just like that.
I also really love Thanksgiving because I love food.
We're done basting, Crystal. Happy morning.
Fuck, I guess.
It can only go up from here, right?
I mean, yeah, unless that was an indication of how my day's gonna go.
Let's not say that.
Uh,
Let's not say that.
yeah, and for those who are watching this video, if you can't tell, I look really different. Congratulations, you're a winner.
Welcome to November.
Welcome to November. Crystal chopped and dyed all her hair. Yay.
Change.
Yeah,
It's the season of change.
it is the season of change. Anyways, hi, hello, how are you?
Hi.
I hope you're having a much
Another
better morning than
day,
I am.
another week, another month. It's just
It's so weird that I'm struggling so hard to like be awake right now because it's not that late. And my body woke me up.
maybe early. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one. See? I don't know what my problem is. Honestly, I've been so tired lately. Um, like my body isn't tired, but my eyes are tired, if that makes any sense. Like I just want
Allergies?
to. No, my allergies have been fine. No, it's because it doesn't even feel like allergies. It just feels like my body got enough sleep, but my eyeballs didn't get enough sleep. So my eyes just want to be like this all day.
Yeah.
Except for towards the end of the day when I need to go to bed, and then my body's like, ha 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 ha, joke's on you. My body's tired, but my eyes are like, yeah.
I know I'm not getting enough still because every time I actually like fall asleep deeply enough, both of my arms are falling asleep.
Mm,
And so then my body wakes up because my arms are numb.
right.
And it's like, oh, you wanted to sleep? Fuck yourself. And then I'm in that cycle all night long.
Yeah.
So
God, we're a mess. Falling apart.
adulting sucks.
Adulting does suck. And I was talking to someone about like, I was like, yeah, I think the tiredness is part of I go through that like the cycle of like being fine and then like depressed for a little bit. And someone's like, that
Yeah.
sounds like PMDD. I was like, who the fuck knows? Could have that. Who entirely possible. I'm like, all of that makes absolute sense.
Anyways.
So, welcome to the best, the second best month, third best month of the year.
Are we
I had to
ranking them now?
reevaluate. Well, okay, so because I love Halloween. Halloween is
Okay.
like my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
And then also, I like Christmas, but I also really love Thanksgiving because I love food. So like I could
Solid.
interchange which month is number one. Currently, okay, you know what? Currently Halloween is kind of ranking low, strictly because that was my anniversary and now it's not anymore.
And
Um,
now
s-
it's not
so now I gotta like reevaluate a little bit and let Halloween give it
just
a
have
year,
its time. Yeah.
give it a year before like I'm
Plus, we kind
thrilled
of had
with.
a weird
We've
themey
had a
month.
weird year.
Yeah,
So
we
I don't
have,
even know
especially with the
how
themies. I don't
I
know.
just I
I'm kind of
feel
scared about how Thanksgiving's gonna go this month, November,
yeah.
especially with food. Like, for instance, last week, it's a wild, wild start to our month already. So who knows where it's gonna go?
Yeah. Crazy. What a wild start.
You know, sometimes we just never know where things are gonna go. Which brings us to today.
Sometimes you need to be basted by the turkey of life, and sometimes you base the turkey of life
And
yourself.
sometimes you bring an alien to Thanksgiving, which is what we did this week because
Uh-huh.
we read Alien Thanksgiving by Zara Zenia. Why is that funny?
No, I just was thinking about the basting.
Oh, we're done basting, Crystal.
We're not basting me. I don't want to be
No,
basted.
there was a comma there. We're done basting, Crystal.
I'm gonna be a problem. I'm sorry. I spilled my
There's
whole
always a
coffee this
problem.
morning. I had to have a second one.
Well, we're going to start with a different K name. We're going to start with Kelly today.
Yeah.
And Kelly is just starting her break at work. She is a barista at a coffee shop called Fresh Brew that is located in the downtown college area, which is convenient for her so she can walk there from her apartment and to her classes. She is in grad school and is barely making ends meet.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
Relatable, Kelly.
Yep. She's worried about not being able to afford continuing school and having to move back home. She definitely does not want to do that because her ex-boyfriend lives there. And her ex-boyfriend Sheldon is a pretentious, spoiled brat who cheated on her.
Ooh, Sheldon. Okay.
She seems to loathe him and how much of a pretentious, spoiled brat he is. But why did she date him in the first place? Don't know.
Because he's got
She hates them
money.
that much.
Maybe he didn't come across as super pretentious at
Well, she acts like he
first.
did. The way she
I don't
talks
fucking
about him,
know.
that he was like that the whole time. But why did you date him then? That's what I want to know.
Stupidity.
The way it sounded to me was like he was like that the whole relationship. And I'm like, to me, it's like,
Yeah.
why the fuck did she date him then? But if
Again,
I read it wrong, I
stupidity.
don't know.
Stupidity.
She's actually really grateful that he cheated on her because it allowed her to dump him. But
Uh, that sh
again,
that
mhm,
shouldn't be
mhm,
the
yeah,
excuse you
that's
use.
exactly.
That's
Hmm.
not okay.
Rest my case, Your Honor. So then she was able to leave town and go to graduate school and not look back. Her mom is still trying to get them back together, even though she wants nothing to do with that. Speaking of her mom, as she heads to the break room, her phone rings with her mom calling. And she answers, saying she's at work. And her mom instantly complains that she's always at work or at school. Yeah. Hello.
No shit. As soon as I was like, really? Really, woman? What the fuck?
Uh,
Of course, duh.
like, but her mom wants to talk about next week's plans. It's Thanksgiving. She wants to make sure that Kelly is coming home. Kelly assures her she'll be there. And the mother says that she also took the liberty of inviting Sheldon to Thanksgiving for old time's sake. Kelly's pissed. Her mom says it's not too late for the two of them to make amends. And Kelly says, absolutely not. Her mom says she just wants her to be happy. She doesn't want her to show up alone at Thanksgiving and have to answer a whole bunch of questions from the family that she's her only daughter. Kelly is so flustered and frustrated that she just blurts out that she's bringing someone so she can
I
uninvite Sheldon.
just want to go. Oh, that's an option.
Problem solved. We solved a problem. Problem solved.
What is wrong with both of us? Actually, I know my problem.
I mean, I haven't slept in like 3 weeks fully, so
Ugh,
it's probably my problem too.
fair.
Her mom's shocked. Oh my goodness. And asks Kelly who it is.
None
She
of
has
your
a
business.
boyfriend? Like, oh my goodness. Kelly just says she hasn't gotten a chance to tell her yet. And her mom sighs
Am I not
that she
important?
doesn't have time for her daughter. Doesn't have a chance to tell her mom, her dear old mother. Oh, just bring him to Thanksgiving.
That is wild. Like if you're just recently dating somebody, why would you bring them to Thanksgiving? It seems
Her mom's
like
a lot. Just as Kelly's boss is saying, breaks over. So, so
thank
sorry,
God.
mom. Gotta go.
Bye.
Now Kelly's wondering how in the world she's going to find a boyfriend within a week. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Do you have a whiteboard handy by chance?
Yes.
Like a mini one that you can like hold on camera? Awesome. Every time I say the next day, I would like you to put a tally because I didn't have time to do it. This is going to be a visual representation for us today. Just so I don't gaslight myself. Okay. The next day during her shift, tally one. Perfect. Thank you, Vanna. Kelly notices a regular walk in and begins to plot in her head. The regular's name is Carlisle Stewart, and he's also a graduate student at the university, though she knows that he's a few years older than her. But he's gorgeous, and he's a regular, and they flirted previously.
Is he a regular
So,
though?
yes, she says that many times.
Sorry.
So when he walks up to the counter, she pushes her shoulders back and takes a breath and tries her best at having a conversation with him, talking about his usual coffee order and then asking if he would be willing to be her stand-in boyfriend at Thanksgiving. Bam, just like that.
So here's the thing. At this point, we're not very far in the book, by the way.
Mm-mm.
I went back to the description because I was like, there's no way that this is the man that was in the it is. But I
Mm-hmm.
was like, maybe this guy turns her down and she was sad about it, and then just another dude sweeps. No, this is the dude.
Mm-hmm. This whole book. Okay. She knows it sounds ridiculous and she's a little desperate. And he asks if it's a joke because obviously. And she starts to apologize, saying he doesn't have to, and starts babbling about her mother and her ex-boyfriend and how she made up having a boyfriend and all this stuff. And she keeps rambling how she thought since they were acquaintances, it might be a good opportunity to get to know each other. And he just nods and says he can do it.
I wonder if he was thinking, is this a joke because he really liked her and he didn't
Yeah,
want
I'm sure that's exactly what it was.
and so they're both
So,
mentally unwell.
absolutely. And I want you to know that I'm also mentally unwell because
Okay.
you know the cyclone song? Like a cyclone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead I had like a psycho. Like
There
a
is a
psycho.
song um called Psycho.
All right, there's lots of songs, but that's that exact
Uh
thing I had. Yeah.
got me feeling like I'm psycho,
Mhm.
psycho.
And he says he'll do it. And she
Okay.
says, he will? And he says, sure. And she says, thank you. And she thanks him. And he says that it would be fun to attend a Thanksgiving dinner because he's never been invited to one before. And she
Oh,
says,
that's right, because you're
right.
British.
Because he's British. And he's like, yeah,
Yeah, that's
with a
it.
funny look on his face. And she says, well, guess it's a date. Because he did recently come to graduate school from England. So that's where she's calling it.
Okay.
And she promises to make it all up to him because she owes him one. He says, no trouble at all. And she asks if they can exchange numbers to keep in touch. And they do, and tells him what a lifesaver he is. And he says he's looking forward to it. And they wish each other a good day. And he leaves. So the next night,
We're gonna count night and day.
well, this is, yeah, the next day, but it's in the evening now. So the next night, we're counting how many days go by. So this
That's
counts.
fine. How's that?
Okay, fabulous. While Kelly is eating dinner at home, Carlisle calls. He's wondering if she wants to go to dinner with him at some point before Thanksgiving. And she says, sure. And they agree on a time and place. So when that day rolls around, because we don't know, so it's at least another day later, but it doesn't say the next one. So I think it's more than one, but it's at least one. So we'll just say at least one. Crystal's saying at least two. I love it.
Oh, I didn't mean to put too well.
That's okay.
Um,
The way it's worded, honestly, it should be.
okay.
So they meet up and he asks her to give him the scoop about what happens at a Thanksgiving. And she explains about the men watching football and the women in the kitchen and how ridiculous that is. And how she has two brothers and she's the middle child and she knows that they'll be there along with her parents, but she's not sure if any aunts or uncles will be there, but she can check. He says he's looking forward to it. And she says she needs to be honest. It might be a little weird at dinner and that the table can get awkward and uncomfortable at times because not everyone in the family shares the same religious or political beliefs. And there might be heavy drinking, and maybe some weed smoking, and she just wants to make sure that he knows what he's getting into. It's Thanksgiving after all. But there is dessert. There's
Yeah,
pie.
love that.
She says she also likes to watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving with her brothers, and he says she's not sure what that is, and she suggests that maybe they can get together and watch it beforehand. They can get together one more time before Thursday.
Sure.
And they finish dinner, and he walks her home. The next day at work, she's waiting for her shift to end because Carlisle's going to pick her up so that they can get together. When her ex, Sheldon, walks in the cafe, she asks him
Ugh.
what he's doing there. Because for real. And he says, is he not allowed to walk in and place an order?
Get
She
fucked,
says,
bro.
no. He says that he's allowed to go in any business he chooses, and he was already in the area and decided to pop in and see what she's doing.
Ew.
She can think whatever she wants, but he's a changed man. She tells him he's a cheating jerk. He says she has it all wrong. He's not that guy anymore. He wants to get back together with her. She says, great, either order something or leave. Basically, like,
Get the fuck
bye.
up,
Yeah.
bitch.
He says he talked to her mom that she invited him to Thanksgiving. And Kelly says, well, she uninvited him. He says he's going to show up anyways.
What a dick.
Like, why? Why?
Well,
Like,
because the man doesn't know the word no.
I just, why would you want? It just doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. And she says, just take his order and leave, not to bother her family, not to come to Thanksgiving. And he starts yelling, saying she can't tell him what to do. So it escalated from like 0 to 60, man,
It's like a
baby. And
bitch.
like,
It's like such a mantrum thing to do.
it
Like,
was
is he stomping
complete
his
mantrum,
feet too?
basically, because her boss had to come out and tell him to keep his voice down. And Sheldon's all upset how he's being treated. He wants her back. And she tells
You're
him to
the
step
man who has a
aside
name
so
named.
other
Your
customers
name
can
is
order.
Sheldon. Step
know,
down,
right?
sir.
She tries
Chill.
to hand him a box of muffins because that's what he had ordered. And
Do
he
you want me
uses
to
that
butter your
opportunity.
muffin? Sorry.
He probably would like it to grab her wrist and yank her forward,
Dude, fuck
telling
that
her she
shit.
will listen to him when he's talking to her. And
You
she
will
tells
get
him,
punched
let
in the
go.
face.
Her boss, Abigail, says he's going to need to leave or she's going to call the police. And he says, fine. He'll wait outside for the rest of his order. He storms out, and Kelly takes a deep breath and manages to work through the rest of the line. And then she sees Carlisle walk into the shop, and he asks if she's ready because she realizes now her shift is over. And she says almost and tells her boss that she'll bring out the order on her way out. And Abigail asks if she's sure, and she says she's going out anyways. Her shift is over. Abigail wishes her good luck. She says she'll be okay. She's going out with Carlisle. Abigail says she feels better then. Kelly tells Carlisle, grabbing the rest of the order, to be cool when they get outside. She has to give stuff to her ex-boyfriend, and his temper just went off. She doesn't want to make a scene. She just wants to get away from him as fast as possible. Carlisle nods. They get out there. Kelly shoves the order into Sheldon's arms and keeps walking, grabbing Carlisle's hand, and she breathes once they are clear of him, seeing that Sheldon isn't following them. They make it to Carlisle's place, and he offers her wine. They set up the movie. She's surprised his place is so nice, remembering that he is also a grad student. Kelly apologizes about earlier and Sheldon explaining that he had caused a scene in the coffee shop and how they had broken up because he cheated on her and how he refuses to leave her alone. Carlisle asks if there's anything he can do to help, and she says he already is, just by going to Thanksgiving. He's bailing her from having to deal with him and her family. He says he's happy to do that. She's always been so nice to him at the coffee shop that when he goes there, he hopes to see her. He says it's nice to meet people near his age who are also graduate students because not being from the area can get a little lonely sometimes. She says she can understand that and is glad that they met and are becoming better friends, even though it's under weird circumstances. Her hair falls a little bit forward and he brushes it off the side of her face, and she feels like he might make a move on her when his phone rings. He apologizes and says he needs to take the call. He goes to the kitchen to talk, and she thinks it's odd because he seems to be talking another language quietly, one she can't place. When he walks back into the living room, she asks if everything's okay, and he says he's sorry, but something has come up and he needs to take her home. Maybe they can reschedule before Thanksgiving, and she says of course, and he drives her home, saying he'll call her the next day. Kelly heads to the school library to get some studying done instead, and while she's there, her dad calls asking if she wouldn't mind stopping by the next morning to help with some paperwork at his auto shop, and she says of course. So the next morning, when she gets there, she finds her dad and her brother Maury in the garage. She doesn't get along with Maury very well, and he even makes a comment about he heard she wouldn't talk to Sheldon at the coffee shop, but good thing he's coming to Thanksgiving and she can talk to him then.
Blech.
Like, what? Really? Yeah,
What is so great about this? No, they just want his money. That's all.
basically.
I was like, what
So
is so great about this man? Well,
a
money.
few days go by,
A, a few is like
like at least three.
three,
Yeah.
because a couple is two.
And
Okay.
now I'm wondering how this is a week
Well,
because
currently it's not.
thank you. Because once they said a few days go by, I was like, they said a week. Okay, I'm concerned. So now it's been what, 9 days?
8 if we take away the one that I added as an extra.
But that's
But
still more than a
it's still
week.
more than a week. In
Either
case
way.
anyone is curious, a week is 7 days.
There are 7 days, there are 7 days, there are 7 days in a week.
Congratulations, there is your school lesson for
Kindergarten
the
lesson for
day.
the day. I don't know, but Kelly and Carlisle have talked and seen each other at the coffee shop over the past few days. They've been both busy with school and work. Carlisle is doing a dual thing with his doctorate, and he's in some anthropology program, and Kelly is getting her master's. He has to do extensive internships, so they've both been busy. And Sheldon has been trying to text and call Kelly around the clock, so she ended up having to block him. Kelly is just finishing up her shift at work, and Carlisle meets her to go to her place. She has a test to study for, but they still want their evening to get to know each other a little before Thanksgiving. And he's already been through these classes as he's a few years ahead of her, so he says he's more than willing to help. Carlisle looks at her notes and says he finds it interesting that she's talking about English culture and Boxing Day and comparing it to Americans' Black Friday, but they don't seem to have anything like a Thanksgiving type of holiday as a custom for the British, and she's confused. And Kelly asks him, isn't he British? And he looks surprised by her question, and she jokingly asks if he's trying to catfish her. And he asks what catfishing is. And she says, like, kind of like, duh, how someone would try to lure someone else by pretending to be something they aren't. And he just looks at her and asks if humans do that
So here's usually that's done by
online. Yeah.
online and also it's usually their face is different.
hmm hmm
So whatever.
You know, we're playing. Yeah. Yeah. We would need a lot more whiteboards, but we're just focusing on one thing right this second.
All good.
And she's just like, what? And he nervously says he doesn't know why he said that. He doesn't know why he said humans instead of people, but yes, he is British. His family just never celebrated Boxing Day, and he just seems so flustered that she's just kind of like, weird, but she decides to let it go. Maybe she's just tired and reading too much into it. So the next day, They study again, but at Carlisle's house. Though when he picks up from work, they see Sheldon lurking outside the shop in his car, and Kelly's just so frustrated over it. But Carlisle assures her everything's going to be fine. He's there for her, and Thanksgiving will go fine. They get to his house and they order food, and Kelly finds it a little hard to concentrate with Carlisle so near. And they, are so close. The next day, she's coming out of class, and her brother Max is meeting her at school, and she's just getting into his car when Sheldon is there yet again, running up to her, saying he just
Boo.
wants to talk, grabbing her by the arm, telling her to stop
Absolutely fucking
because she's
not.
trying to get into Max's car. Yeah, she says to leave her alone. Max is even like, dude, that he shouldn't be grabbing his sister, touching her, or going anywhere near her. And at hearing that, Sheldon just backs away and says he'll see them at Thanksgiving. Kelly says no, he won't, and gets into Max's car, telling him to drive. Max wants to know if their mom knows that Sheldon is stalking her like that. She says their mom only sees what she wants to see when it comes to Sheldon. Max asks how her exams went and says that fall break is officially over, that she's got this. He's 21 and he's going to school for engineering, so he helps and gives her rides to work when he can because they're at the same school. Kelly tells him she has plans with Carlisle later that evening for drinks and invites Max to go to celebrate the end of exams. And he says, sure, why not? So after work, they go out and they have a good time. Max and Carlisle get along. And the next day, because I truly think that I need to go back and count these days because it's way more than 1 week, but instead we're doing it all together. So far, it has been
12 days.
Kelly and Carlisle meet up yet again and go for a walk in the nice autumn weather and head back to Carlisle's place to finally finish watching the Thanksgiving movies. They're sitting next to each other on the couch, and Kelly can't take it anymore. She's waited long enough, and she ends up yanking him by the shirt and kissing him until they start escalating their kissing, and Kelly starts getting handsy and starts fumbling with Carlisle's pants when she breaks the kiss and sees that Carlisle's face and body are rapidly flicking through like men, like a slideshow. It's like click, click, click,
So I
click,
guess the catfishing really does kind of fit.
but like
Only in this
on
case,
speed.
though.
Yeah. And she just stands up and backs away, asking what is going on. And he says
Fair.
he can explain when he comes back to himself.
Honestly, though, fucking fair.
Yeah.
Like, I would
She
do the
asks
same
who he
thing.
is, what he is. And he says he's still him and goes to take her hand. She says, no, not to touch her. Stay away from her. He says she doesn't understand as he changes into a different form with his clothes ripping off because they no longer fit. He's just giant with dark blue hair and blue skin. And she just asks, what is going on? Is this a joke? Because it's not funny. And she says she's leaving and not to follow her as she rushes out the door.
It's a little dramatic. Sorry. Maybe not. I'm just
The whole
kidding.
book was quite dramatic. The next
Yeah.
day, because here we are again, Kelly is at work and Carlisle walks through the door looking normal. And for a minute, she wonders if she imagined it. After all, she had been drinking, but not that much. He walks up to the counter and tells her that he needs to talk to her, that it's important. And she says, okay, which seems to surprise him, but she does want answers and needs to know more. She tells him to come back at noon, pick her up, that she's only working a half day, and he says he'll be there. He returns at the end of her shift and they go back to her apartment. She says she guesses he wants to talk about what she saw last night. He says that she was tired. He understands that maybe she had more to drink than she thought. She was seeing things. She gets pissed. How dare he try to gaslight her? He just looks distraught that it didn't work and says, you know,
Typical man.
right? And she says, she's not crazy. And he says, let him explain. She says he keeps saying that, but he's not doing it. So then he says, is she sure what she saw was real? Like, you got caught and then you got caught again and now you're still digging yourself deeper? I'm like so confused. She gets even more pissed, naturally, and asks if he's really going to deny it. And he says he doesn't have to deny anything. She says, fine. She can see where this is going. She doesn't like being lied to. She has no tolerance for it anymore. And he just looks at her, clearly in pain, and starts to panic and says, okay, he'll tell her what she wants to hear. She says, no, tell her the truth. He says his name is not Carlisle, it's Khalil. and he is an anthropologist. That much is true. Kelly asks if he's an alien, and he says, well, to her, he might be considered a foreigner.
Oh my God.
He looks like he's in a lot of pain and clearly struggling, and she
A
just
foreigner. I'm sorry.
says, look, she invited him to Thanksgiving. He says yes. Both of those are facts. They don't know each other very well, but she's willing to give it a chance if he doesn't hold back and tells her everything. She's willing to listen without judgment. She just needs full disclosure. He's let his guard down with her. And she doesn't understand, but something compels her to walk across the room and kiss him as if her mind and body aren't connecting. And this blows my mind totally, but whatever. And then the kiss starts to escalate again. So Carlisle's skin begins to turn blue and he begins to turn larger again. And then he pulls away saying, he's sorry. She says, no need to apologize for being who he is. You don't know who he is, bitch.
Yeah.
You haven't heard anything. And he says, the way she kisses him.
Okay.
It destroys the human guise that he has in place. She tells him he doesn't need it. Whiplash. He says, unfortunately, he does, that Earth is not ready for it.
Sorry.
Looking at his true self, she tells him she respects him more now that he allowed himself to be revealed, that she likes this side of him better, but she does want to know why he hid himself. He says he didn't want to ruin what they had. He didn't want to scare her. He tells her that he's stationed on Earth to study human natives, that he may look young, but he's really 104. He was sent by his superiors on a 60-year mission together to gather as much information as he could about human societies and customs before his ship returns to take him back. That his cover makes it easier to interact with people when he looks like everyone else. He says he was working up the courage to tell her. I don't believe that.
I don't either.
Because when she confronted him, he just gaslit her. But what
Yeah.
do I know? I do know that she asks what do they do about Thanksgiving, and he says that they have to keep it a secret. He's on strict orders not to blow his cover, and now he's already done it with her. But you just said you were working up the courage to tell her. Pick a lane. But if she'd
The
still
lane
have
is
him,
in space.
yeah, that's why he's used to it. He'd love to accompany her to dinner. She says that'd be great, and she promises not to tell anyone. They sit down and talk more. She asks if she should still call him Carlisle, and he says everyone here knows him by that name, and it would make sense not to change it, especially in front of her family. And they talk about how he traveled there and the special ship he had to take and how there's a satellite that he communicates with. And he talks about how bad it would be if people found out about him, first people and humans. And he asks if he can ask her a question. And she says yes. And asks about humans and always feeling the need to wear a ton of clothing. And she says, it's illegal to go out in public without clothes on. And he says his home planet's really warm year round, and typically people just wear things to cover their privates. And he says that he's heard intimacy and touching are very important to humans. And she says yes. And he asks if he can touch her. And she says she's been waiting for him to touch her since they met.
Gross.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he takes his fingers and strokes them up and down her
Gross.
arm, and she asks him to touch her everywhere. And then he kisses her. He says he enjoys the physical contact. Then they both start groping each other all over, and she asks if he wants to fuck her, and he says yes. They get rid of their clothes, and she climbs on his lap to ride them. Then they fuck until she comes, and he pulls out in time for him to basically minotaur gush all over the place. And he apologizes, saying the more turned on he is, the more cum he unloads. And she says, it's all good. She likes it. Like, what the fuck? They clean up, and then Carlisle's phone rings with a video call because apparently his phone, without even answering it, the person who's calling can see through the video on the other end, which I think that's stupid personally. I
Yeah.
don't understand that at all. But
Yeah,
since the person already saw them, they have to answer. Carlisle says it's Enley, his monitor, and his teacher, and she tries to protest, saying they're half naked. This is a private moment. Carlisle says he can't ignore him, and he answers. And the first thing Enley says is, who's the human? Carlisle says that this is his friend Kelly, and he says it looks like more than a friend since they're half clothed and looking disheveled, that he doesn't approve. He's in his natural form. Does he realize what he's done? He's put their entire species in jeopardy. Carlisle says that she's sworn to secrecy. She takes the vows very seriously. Henley says that maybe he should bring home Carlisle. Carlisle says, no, please, she won't leak the secret. And he says that this is reckless behavior and won't soon be forgotten. He will be held accountable for anything that happens, but he will let him stay and finish conducting his mission. The next morning is, drumroll please, finally Thanksgiving. So now, 1 week later is how many days? 14.
2 weeks.
So apparently,
It's 2 weeks, not 1
is
week.
1 week.
Okay.
How does someone go, oh, next week, and then it's actually 2 weeks?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever. I personally don't understand how this week was so long. They added so many extra days. It was very easy for us to tally. Couldn't anyone else tally that too? Especially if it was their own book, but
Okay.
not my business, apparently.
Not my business.
But here we are. They are driving to Kelly's parents' house, and Carlisle says that maybe they should discuss moving in together. Bro. That they spend almost all their free time together anyways. And I said, it's been a week, dude. Granted,
Well,
2 weeks worth
2 weeks.
of days, I said, but a week in the book's time. And Kelly says that it's tempting and that she'll think about it. They pull into her dad's shop, stopping there first. Both her brothers and her dad are there. Kelly's dad talks Carlisle's ear off about cars, and then they make it to the main house, and Kelly shows him around. Kelly's mom doesn't seem too impressed by Carlisle not being Sheldon, and peppers Carlisle with questions, and then Sheldon comes in. He just walks in. Kelly asks if he knows how to knock, that they're in the middle of a family event, and Sheldon says he is family.
What?
The mom instantly turns herself around to go fawn over Sheldon. Kelly uses her mom's distraction to nudge Carlisle and bring him upstairs, and Max goes with them, get them away from Sheldon. But they can hear her dad poking at Sheldon downstairs, saying he thought Sheldon had a girlfriend. Sheldon admits they broke up, and the dad thinks it's so interesting that he would have 2 women leave him in such a short amount of time. Why is that?
Why is that?
Sheldon just says that they can't recognize a real man when they see one.
Good Lord.
The father asks if it's true that he's been showing up to his daughter's work and school unannounced, bothering her. Sheldon says that he would hardly call it bothering her, and if she took his friendly behavior the wrong way, then he would apologize. It's finally time for the dinner itself, and they all gather around the table. Sheldon is at this point drunk and starting out the dinner pouting that he can't believe she doesn't want him back. Kelly is just saying, no thanks, learned her lesson. The dad saying that this isn't appropriate dinner talk. Sheldon turns on the dad, saying he's too protective of her. She's a grown woman. Kelly tells him she's moved on. He should too. He calls her daddy's girl.
Yeah.
That she's moved on with him, pointing at Carlisle. Kelly says that Carlisle's a great boyfriend, and he's better to her than Sheldon ever was. She's tired of everyone worshiping the ground that Sheldon walks on when he's nothing but a cheating douchebag. And she made a new life for herself and worked her ass off, pouring her heart into her studies, and no one seems to care about any of that except for Carlisle. Sheldon does not handle this well. He stands up from the table, knocking the chair over, saying, she doesn't know what she wants. She's just a stupid bitch who likes to play with men's hearts. Kelly says that she's not going to sit here and be ridiculed on Thanksgiving in her own family's home by an ex-boyfriend who has no business being there in the first place. He says it's his family too. What the fuck? The father says Sheldon needs to stop or get out. The mother's crying. Sheldon tells Carlisle that it's, all his fault, and walks over to him and pushes his shoulder, trying to get a rise out of him, saying, fight me, big man.
Fight me, bitch. Sorry.
Whoever wins gets the girl. Is he scared? Because he knows Sheldon will win?
Sorry.
The dad says enough. No one's going to fight in his house, especially on Thanksgiving. Carlisle's obviously uncomfortable, but is trying to avoid conflict and being roused by Sheldon.
Mhm.
Kelly tells Sheldon, thanks for ruining dinner. He says she ruined it by inviting him. Kelly says that Carlisle was invited, unlike Sheldon. And then Sheldon lunges for Carlisle, knocking him from the chair. Carlisle tries to dodge and fight off Sheldon's punches while also trying to hold onto his disguise, which doesn't last long. And soon he's panting, towering over Sheldon and punches Sheldon's jaw, knocking him out, looking to the shocked faces around the Thanksgiving table. And then he looks down and sees that his disguise is gone. Like, fuck. The mom is wailing, asking what kind of monster he is and what he's done to poor Sheldon.
Whale. That's all I can
Ke-
remember is when he did the wailing for somebody else.
Kelly steps in front of Carlisle, saying he isn't a monster. And if she was listening before, she'd know that Sheldon is the real monster. And if her hope is for Kelly to get back together with him, then they might as well leave and cut their ties. The mom is calling the police. Kelly takes a deep breath and tells the table that Carlisle is still himself under this and that he has been kind and gentle to her. He would never hurt her or any of them. Carlisle excuses himself and runs to the bathroom. Kelly glares at her mother, and her mother's like, what did she do? And Kelly's like, really? To start, she invited Sheldon when she said not to. And look at the chaos he started. Carlisle comes out and says he can leave. He doesn't want to cause any suffering for the family. She tells him none of this is his fault. Sheldon did this. He is to blame. That they can go wait on the porch for the police to arrive. And luckily, that allowed Kelly to intercept the officers while her mom was doting on Sheldon. And the police hauls Sheldon off to jail to sleep off his drunkenness and tells him that they have 24 hours if they want to press charges. Carlisle gets a call from Enley, who's pissed because whenever the suit is compromised, it sends a warning signal, and Enley wants Carlisle to use a memory eraser beam on everyone. Kelly asks him if he's going to do it, but that she'll support him either way. He says they're her family. He wants to give them a chance. Bro times 1,000. And they all wind up in the living room. Carlisle is patient, answering the family's questions as best he can. Max doing most of the questioning. He's mostly fascinated by the whole thing. The mom and Maury are quiet, but the dad, Max, seem on board by the end of the conversation. The next morning, tension seems to have dissipated, and they help in the kitchen preparing a new Thanksgiving dinner after Carlisle and Kelly's mom went out shopping for new supplies. They're going to do round two since round one was ruined. But I don't know why they need new food for that, because they could have just reheated the entire dinner
I
the
don't
day
know.
before. That seems like
Oh, wait, this is another day.
a lot of waste. Yes, though we don't need to necessarily
I don't
calculate now
care.
that we
We're
have had
gonna we're
Thanksgiving, but
gonna
we can do that.
calculate.
Perfect. Vanna White needs her board. I feel like we need to use the whiteboard more.
We do. So like this person is here.
Yeah. Carlisle even said that the store trip with the mom went well and that she was nice to him. And they all sit around the table for round two. Carlisle asks a lot of questions about the origin and tradition of Thanksgiving, and Kelly's mom is all on top of that one and seems happy to explain the whole thing. And they even let Carlisle do the wishbone, and he gets to make a wish and says that he wishes that he would continue having a human family to get to know who accepts him for who he is, and that his relationship with Kelly will continue to thrive and flourish. And the dad says, good news. His wish is going to come true, which that's weird, but whatever. And then we have an epilogue because apparently it was just ending like that. This whole fucking ride, man. It's 6 months later, and Kelly and Carlisle living together. They bought a house. Kelly no longer works at the coffee shop and just focuses on school full time. Kelly's family did keep Carlisle's secret and have been developing a good relationship with him. And they end the book telling each other they love each other. And the last 20% of the book is a preview for something else. And not gonna lie, this was fucking weird.
Yeah. Do you want to know the theme of this
I
episode?
With planets, with planets, with planets, with planets, with planets, with planets.
You're welcome.
What is she doing?
She heard the song and she goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I gotta say, I didn't like a lot of aspects of this book. I didn't like the way that
Yeah.
people were described. Like the mom, she was described as plus size, but basically said that she was brave for not letting it bother her,
As if being plus
type
size
of
should
deal.
bother
Right,
you.
like bother her, that she wore her fat bravely. And I'm like,
The fuck?
that's right,
Yeah.
that's how it was described. And I was like,
Yeah.
fucking excuse me? And it was just a whole fucking ride. The entire gaslighting situation and the Sheldon with the family and the family just like getting over the whole Carlisle situation like that without anything. This is just a weird fucking book. And honestly, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say right now, I don't think I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't fucking think I liked this. I did not like this.
Yeah. We're having
Why?
like a really rough, really rough time. Uh,
Why? I need 2026 to have our themes be way better
yeah.
because this is fucking wild. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I I don't even know.
Hmm. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
who is your favorite character?
I don't even know. I guess Max,
Yeah.
if I had to pick one.
Who's your
You?
least favorite? Max as well. Who's your least favorite?
Honestly, I'm gonna say the mom.
Yeah, the mom sucked.
But like all of them were
Because like
shit.
how can you be like I'm just gonna invite your ex-boyfriend anyways? Bitch, what?
Like right, but like all of them were shit.
Yeah.
So like that's not saying too much.
Yeah. Amazon gives us a 3.9, Goodreads a 3.6, and Storygraph a 3.14.
What did you rate it?
Like a 2.5.
I rated it a 1.5. This was shit.
Yeah.
This was shit. And I'm sorry, but 14 days is not 1 week.
No.
Kindergartners know that.
I mean,
There are
yeah.
7 days in a week.
Are there? Just kidding.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
I was just
Friday,
fucking with
Saturday.
you.
We can do it the Addams Family way. Days of the week.
Oh my God, knock
Days
it
of the
off.
week.
Nope. All right. Peppers.
I'm gonna say almost a poblano.
Okay. Yeah. There's so much
All
like
right, okay, I'm gonna say a poblano.
you can
Fine,
do so
poblano.
much with an alien. Like there's so many
Yeah,
opportunities to make cool things happen.
and we got nothing.
Yeah. Survivability, I'd be fine, but I would have probably killed my mother.
I would be fine because I wouldn't talk to any of my
Actually, I wouldn't
family.
have even gone.
Yeah,
Like
I wouldn't have
I
gone
wouldn't
either.
even
So I
go.
wouldn't have needed the date anyways.
Yeah, I would have gone. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Rawr. Well,
So
that was
that was a
something.
that was an experience.
Yes. Well, we'll see if next week is going to be any better. Yeah.
Okay, so next week we are reading Grateful for You, a Thanksgiving small town romance novella by Katana Collins. His Thanksgiving dinner just got a bit more complicated and a whole lot more sexy. Piper Morgan is on the run with only a duffel bag, $200 in the bank, and her most precious cargo, her dog Athena. After her car skids off the road the day before Thanksgiving in the small town of Maple Grove, she's rescued by the small town's gorgeous sheriff. She's immediately attracted to him, but she's already learning the hard way to not let her guard down around the wrong man. Mason Brecht is Maple Grove's most eligible bachelor, but as the sheriff of the small town, rescuing people just comes with the job. At least that's what he tells himself when he sees Piper's car slide off the road and into a ditch. Intent on not allowing this captivating woman spend Thanksgiving alone, Mason soon realizes she is not only beautiful, but she's smart, driven, and extremely courageous. Though Mason tries to resist Piper, the attraction between them roars to life. If only Mason could convince Piper to stop running and stay in Maple Grove with him for good. So we're just going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to go aliens to small town. So, yay.
All righty. Yeah. So join us next week and make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty. You gotta give me a minute.
Fuck.
In case you can't see, Ariel, in case you can't see, my entire coffee that I took one sip out of just fell and dumped all everywhere.
Right just now? Oh my gosh. Well, what a day. What a start to the day.
Is that just a giant jug of water?
Yep. Yep, it is. So I don't have to get up and go back and forth.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it is.
god.
Keep it here.
Oh god, okay. I just can't. You're so funny.
Carlisle says it's Enley, his mentor. No, Enley, his monitor. Oh my gosh. Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.